Music can be unsettlingly prophetic, like a kind of seismograph sensing the eruptions to come. At the very end of the 19th century, Europe was wriggling uneasily out of its old skin and changing into something new, more complex, and much more dangerous. At a time where all the old certainties of empire and the fixed social order were crumbling, so music was leaving home. It was abandoning tonality, seemingly forever. (1857), Wagner, Tristan and Isolda. How was it that this chord and this release was to be a picture for everything to come? Tonality was as much part of its social time as perspective was a part of the structure of painting, as the hierarchical social order was of its political time. Tonality that would mean a chord like this would have to resolve and return home to a chord like this. With Tristan and Isolda, it was to be changed forever, and we were to be adrift on a sea of indefinite tonality. An opera that starts floating in the air, quivering into being, reaching a point of pain and not resolving, except into a kind of uncertain release. After Tristan and Isolda, music was to be changed forever. It's the close of the 19th century. We're in Vienna, and as ever, decay smells sweet. From our vantage point in history, it's easy to see that Vienna was a city in terminal decline, but to the people living there, it was not so clear. It's hard to imagine also what a ferment of intellectual and artistic ideas were going on in Vienna at this time. Vienna was then, and remains to this day, the most conservative city in Europe. Indeed, Mahler said, "When the end of the world comes, I shall go back to Vienna, because everything arrives there 20 years too late." The strange thing about Vienna is the more conservative it was, somehow the more ideas it produced. The worse they treated the artists, the more the artists seemed to flourish. At the same time, in the same city, the painter Klimt was at the head of the group called the Viennese Secession, so called because it had declared its independence from the old decorative arts. And a group of talented writers, including Schnitzler, Hofmannsthal and Altenburg, were working together in coffee houses, writing bittersweet tales chronicling the amorality and shallowness of the life they saw around them. In Vienna too, Ernst Mach and Freud were dealing with new concepts of the personality, with the concept of the unconscious, with the powerful urges of sexuality. There was a whole new way of thinking, as though the carpet was being pulled out from under the old order.